Hey, what's up, Acapellics? Welcome back to Acapellic TV with your boy Celestino Valencia. And today, for the first time ever, we have KGCWS. So, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
For
What's
sure,
up?
man. For sure. But, like, tell me, man, like, where you from?
I'm originally from Oklahoma, man, but I live in Kansas right now, and I pretty much done been. I lived in the Dallas area. I done lived in North Dakota, so
What?
I moved around a little bit. Yeah, I actually got started rapping when I was in North Dakota, really.
Damn, you've been everywhere, man. Holy shit.
Well, I was in the military and I got out up
Oh,
there.
you were in the military. That's crazy. How
Yeah,
long?
I was in there almost 4 years.
Damn, my cousin is about to make 4 years, I believe. He's in
Okay,
the military too, man.
okay, yeah. I mean, it's all good, but I mean, to me, it's Air Force. Like, you don't have to go do all that other stuff. So it's all
Yeah,
good.
he tells me the same thing. He says, "Yo, I can't wait for my contract to be up. I want to get the hell out of there already."
Uh,
I'm like, "Damn, man, it must really be that bad." He's like, "Yeah, I mean, it has benefits and whatnot, but then it's politics and all this other shit that
yeah,
plays out and things you gotta do in there. It's crazy." So it's
it's,
like,
it's
"Oh,
like,
okay, I understand."
yeah, it's like any job. The people. It's the people. If you working and doing with cool people, it's cool. But when you're not, it's like any other job.
Yeah, for sure, man. But that's cool, man. Did you like the first artist from Kansas that I interviewed? So that's fucking awesome, man. Because we're expanding right now. But you know
Yeah,
what's crazy? I found out about you because I'm guessing you pay digital promo, something like that, money to
yeah,
put your video on their platform on social media. And see, so
yeah,
I'm searching for a whole bunch of new artists who are actually talented and dope as fuck. And I ran into your music,
yeah.
ambition as players. I
Players
mean,
ambition.
players ambition. There you go. Sorry,
Yes,
my
sir.
mistake.
Oh, you
You
good?
know, and I saw that, and like for me, your music is refreshing because you're not trying to portray the gangster or trying to portray the shooting and that type of shit, which
Yes,
is
sir.
for me it's
Yes, sir.
stupidity and ignorance.
Right.
Uh which by you telling your story talking about this, the girl that you quote unquote, let's say, call her Shelly and stuff like that, you were talking this whole story, the CEO.
Oh, you
I
did
listen to
say
your
all that.
stuff, man, that's how I listen to your stuff. I'm not here bullshitting you about, oh no, man, I listen to your shit, but you didn't listen to it. No, I listen to your shit, and that's why I fuck with you like that, because that's so that you're a conscious type of artist. But tell me, man, like, was that an actual story with Players Ambitions?
Yeah, it's kind of like a, how can I say it? It's a couple of stories mended into one, so to speak.
Feel
But
you.
yeah, some of the names has changed, to keep, but yeah, it is what it is. That's how it goes. So,
Of
but we're
course,
glad
man. And I thought that was awesome, brother. Your storytelling, you're telling your story, you're being you, true to yourself. And I was like, bro, I gotta get this guy ASAP, man. Then when we
thank you.
confirmed it, I was like, bro, this is awesome, man. Because now other people get to enjoy your music as well. Like I did it, and all it took was for you to post it on a social media platform, which I think is kind of like a rip off at the same time. And that brought your music to me. So fuck it,
Yeah,
right? It is what it
yeah,
is. And then from me, it's gonna expand to other people who are gonna fuck with you too.
yeah, for sure. It's a little different, man. Like back in the day, you know, we used to print up flyers and do, and same thing. It's advertising. We print up flyers, we go hand them out, press up CDs and do and go sell them hand to hand, put them in stores. So it's kind of the game has just kind of changed a little different. You
Oh
know,
yeah, and
like back in the day, we used to hear all these people on the radio, but really what I'm finding out now, we was hearing these people because of the payola. These labels was paying, to have, have them on the radio. So if you ain't got the money to be on the radio, you can't be on there. But you got some local shows that'll let you get on. But you know, with the internet, everything is kind of leveled out. So it's a matter about you getting out there and having the people you finding you, so to speak. You know what I mean?
yeah, and you gotta invest some money, to get it
Yeah,
out there, because of course nobody's gonna do it for free. And also
yeah,
with the radio stuff, like you say, people. The thing is, people think, oh, well, I'm gonna pay the radio stations. You can't do that. That's not how they work. It's because of promo runs or products or whatever. They throw the music under there, on the road, because I think it's illegal to actually pay the stations to promote your music or
hmm
some shit like that.
yeah,
So it's like it's a whole thing. You really don't know this until still studying the game, or you're in the game for a bunch of years, and then you start noticing, oh, whoa, that's not how things work. That's why everyone does interviews, because that's the way they could do it on the low low.
yeah,
That's how they do it. But then that's crazy, right? But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, you know.
I think it might. I
But
don't know if you sent it through a rap promo. I think because I think I did an email blast or something like that with them. And yeah, and you know, the same thing with all of these promo people. You know, instead of us again pressing flyers up and going state to state, but really, you know, I think that's still needed. Like to me, I can have a fan base of people from all over the world, but I need to work my market. You know, at the same time, I still got to press them flyers up, you know, CDs or whatever, digital cards, and go out and let people know, meet people face to face. So it's kind of you got two avenues now versus, you know, just
yeah, that's the street team. Well, that's when you're doing shows. Let's say you're doing a show at this venue, then you have to promote your whole stuff, you know, promo and all
uh-huh.
the other, you know, flyers and everything. Get the people out there selling their CDs. Let them know, hey, KGCWS is gonna perform here, and let them know the whole community so they could come in, you know, and drag
Yeah,
them in and stuff. And then on the outside of the show, be doing the same thing like in the inside, you know, to get your exposure up, giving
yeah,
digital cards, you know, with the music and stuff like that. You
yeah,
know, it's a lot of things that goes into it, which a lot of people don't understand how mentally draining it could be if you're doing it by yourself, you know, and if you have a team, it's gonna be a bit expensive,
yeah,
but it's gonna save you that, you know, that mental draining that goes into this whole project. Because at the end of the day, yes, we do have music, yes, we are artists, but it's also a business. If you don't do that side of the business, then you're not gonna
mhm,
get anywhere. You know, you have to
yeah,
do the whole thing. Oh damn, there you go. Yeah, I lagged, right?
yeah, yeah. You did. It's all good
Yeah,
though.
I know. Sorry, man.
Oh shoot, man. It's
Bro,
technology.
I'm having signal problems, bro. You don't understand, man. Like this
Hey,
providers, bro, they be charging so much damn money for the internet and shit, and then for that shit not to work. Like,
yeah,
what's up, man? You
yeah.
know,
That shit steady going up, Nate, and it don't work. You know, technology is good when it's good, and it's
bro, you
shit
don't
when it's shit.
understand how many times I called up. You know, like I'm about to cancel this shit, but they didn't give me some good ass deal. I'm like, fuck it, I stay.
Yeah. I be doing the same thing, man. Matter of fact, it's about that time.
Yeah, for real. And then
That's what,
yearly they want to charge you more money for the crappy ass service, man. I'm
yeah.
like, fuck out of here,
But
you
they
know,
don't want to let you go though. They
bro.
try to figure out something.
I had so many damn. I've been with so many damn providers, and they're all trash, man. I
Yeah,
haven't met one that doesn't lag or doesn't charge you way too much money for the service, and it's not worth it, man.
yeah. And you know they got them caps where you use after you hit certain level, then it starts to slow down, and it be like, man, this is a trip. But you know
Yeah, man,
everything is about the dollar in the end, really. You know,
for
so
real,
you just gotta kind of deal with it as it goes. You know.
for sure. You know what else can you do, right? It's life. You got to
Yeah,
deal with it.
yeah,
But
for sure.
tell me, man, what made you want to name yourself KGCWS? Like, what does that mean?
Okay. It was always KG, right? And I got that name from one of my partners back in high school. I was
Yep.
KG. And the reason why the coping with stress, the
Hey,
CWS came on, because a
hey,
couple years
brother.
ago I released
Hey, brother. I don't mean to cut you off, but can you repeat that again, man? When you start, you know, after I said why you call yourself KGCWS and why, you know,
okay,
it cut off. I lagged off, man.
okay, you're good. Now, what happened is back in the day when I was in high school, one of my teammates we played football together. He had used to start calling me KG. You know, on Friday night after the game, we'd be rolling around, especially at the home game, just doing things young men be doing. So he was always calling me KG, and that just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
His name was Edgar, right?
Huh.
And I see him on Facebook and do, every now and then. Matter of fact, I congratulate, I think it's his daughter or his granddaughter.
Huh.
Congratulate this morning. But
See?
yeah. So me and him was that's how that started. And when I got in the military, when I went to college, it was just always just KG. When somebody asked me, I just say KG. Instead of making up a fake name, I just say KG. So that stuck with me. And then when I got into the music, thinking about a name, it just naturally, I'm just gonna call myself KG, and never really had no meaning to it. And then I
Huh.
had a partner named Hamaji or Ish. We used to rap. He used to be in North Dakota, but he's from New York. He used
Oh,
to
damn.
always call me, yeah, he used to always call me the knowledge guy. So that kind of stuck. And then I smoke a little bit of green, so I call myself Killer Green, and just
Yeah.
find my way, so to speak, man. And with that, so when we got to coping with stress, how that came about is a couple years ago. I released a couple songs and did, and when I put in KG, it was so many KGs out there. So then, already, and then, Naughty by Nature, they DJ was named KG, right? So with that, they put my name. They said pick another name, so I put the CWS on there. So that's just,
Yeah.
and that CWS is basically what my label is, Coping with Stress. That's what
Oh,
it's called.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the
damn.
KG, Coping with Stress, is the CWS. And I had, and the CWS was a group too. That me and the guy from New York I was telling you about named Itch, Hamaji, J Sauce, it's crazy. He was from Sacramento, and another dude named Ruby Cube was from Detroit. So we all was part of the group. We was called CWS, Coping with Stress. So
Damn.
what we did, yeah, we kept the name. I kept the name because Coping with Stress actually came from me and my other homeboy that was up there named Rico. So me and Rico still, hit each other up and talk too. But that's where the Coping with Stress comes from. Back in the early 90s, 93, I think it was, I sent out an independent, like a 4-song demo to an independent label. I sent it out on like a Monday, and they called me back the next Monday. Like, hey man, I want to sign you. So I was like, okay, cool. So from that point on, I went down there to Texas. The label ended up getting shut down because they, doing some illegal stuff. I ain't gonna say no names and nothing, but they got shut down, right? So when I came back, after I went down there and seen how they was working and where they label was at, I was like, on the way back to North Dakota, I was like, man, I can do this shit. So from that point, I got back, me and my homeboy Rico just chopping it up and kept coming up with a name. And, we smoked. So we smoked. So we first
Yeah.
started with a big marijuana leaf. It just Coping with Stress cause the marijuana leaf. That's how.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much how I came up with the label. And, we used to do shows and stuff back in the day. And then, I had another partner, Ty, from Sacramento. He came back to North Dakota. He made beats and stuff. So we all just did shows and stuff back then. And
And y'all
then
still together, or did y'all separate?
we did it. No, we not. Well, I still talk to Ty, but some of the other guys that, when I moved from up there, so everybody else kind of dispersed and moved too.
Damn.
So, but I still talk to Ty. I still talk to Rico. Them pretty much the only ones. I see J Sauce on was that on SoundCloud. I hit him up, but I ain't heard nothing back from him. So I don't know if that's the same. It's the real dude or if he messed with music. But we had a bunch of us, man. We used to just do shows, book our own shows, and just trying to make it happen on the independent tip. Because we up there in North Dakota, and nobody,
I
nobody's looking
feel
at
you. I feel you, man. Me and my boy just recently linked up again after a couple of years. We had a fallout, and we just
yeah,
reminiscing too recently because when I was doing my thing, he was with me too. We're going out here in shows and whatnot.
yeah,
He started a little bit late with me. I was doing this way before him, but we reminisce that yo, bro, it's crazy experience because I mean it didn't go like how we wanted to because we had no idea what is the music
right,
industry, how to do it, but it's just the
yep,
experience of getting out there, even though you feel that you're scared, you don't know what to expect, how the people going to react, if it's going to
yep,
work or not, and you just have to go out there sometimes and you just got to do it. There's no
got to,
right way or no wrong way of doing
right.
something,
It,
and when
it,
you want something you just got to go out there and do it.
it's just it's that process. It's a learning, and that's what we learned. That's what I learned. About that, and you know, even back then when I, sometimes I mean, we wasn't on the same page. We was on the music, but when we go do shows and we make a little bit of money, instead of us putting it to get to the next show and do, everybody want their little cut. So, but let's say I book a studio session, we supposed to go, and somebody got to work, somebody got to babysit, or somebody just don't want to go. So I go to the studio and I keep writing. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I first came with my first album back in the days, because all those sessions that other people miss, I go in there, since I didn't pay for the session, I just go in there and do something, make me a song or two, and just do it like that. And that's pretty much been the process. And I really got into the point where I didn't want to not not against the studio, but when I go to the studio and I'm sitting in there spending that time, and I got an engineer and he's tweaking, trying to
Yeah,
make
of
shit
course.
sound good, but it sound good. But then I get home and get to listen to it. I'm like, man, this need to be like this. And then I got to go pay again. So finally, I was just like, I got to get me some equipment.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
been the process.
exactly what I did too. I got me some equipment. You practice at home and stuff like that. Whatever you have, and then you go to the actual studio and then you record it so you don't waste time because time is
Mhm.
precious, you know.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
there you have the engineer who knows what he's doing. You have an
Mhm.
idea, but you don't know
Yeah.
exactly how to mix and master, unless if you
Yeah.
learn after the years, you know. But
Yes. Yeah.
it's
And
a
that's what I
different
did.
process.
Yeah. And that's what I did is, I always had I always like the crispy sound of music. So when I go in the studio, that's what I'll be trying to recreate. I try to hear that crispiness in my music.
Sure.
And it's a little it sounds different based on being on a CD and digital versus analog. But that's what I was always shooting for is try to get something crisp. And it's a learning and growing process. And my partner Ty actually, he's really good at engineering and doing and making beats and stuff. And basically, if I got something that ain't sounding right, I'll hit him up and do. And, he kind of tell me this and
Of
tell me
course.
that. And then, just research is how I get it. I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
You never stop learning, brother. You never stop learning.
So
But
that's it.
that's a beautiful thing, like for example, me and my boy were talking about, like how, I sacrificed a lot for this shit, when I was doing it, I used to sacrifice every paycheck for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I didn't buy myself any clothes, anything expensive, any
Yeah.
fancy shit, everything went into studio time and the music price and all this other shit. For lunch breaks and shit like that, I used to only drink one Arizona, and Arizona 10 was $1, and then a
Yeah.
bag of chips was 25 cents. So imagine all the way wasted in a day was $1.25, and that's
Right.
all I ate, man. In the
Yeah.
whole day, that's all I ate. If my mother gave me a plate of food, and I ate that too. That what
Yeah.
I could get, I would take.
Right.
So I could invest everything in my dreams. Unfortunately, it never went to where I wanted to, but it taught me a lot about business. So now when I want to do a business that I want to do, I know how to
Mm-hmm.
do it all. How to do websites, photography, videography, promotion, all these things that goes into a business. I
Yeah.
can actually put all that energy and all the knowledge into that business. Because honestly, with
Yeah.
the music stuff, I don't think I will go back to. I'll probably do an interview like this. Exposing your guys' talent to other people
Yeah.
like I'm doing now. But I rather go into business like real estate where there's the money's at.
Yeah. For real. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of like that too, man. You know, I used to put everything I could into it, but still, you got to keep a roof on your head, and it just all that stuff. And I got married, so too, I have a wife now, and
How
at the
many
same
kids?
time, you know, granted, she still held it down when I was doing that. She still did that and does that, But at the same time, I went back to school, got my degree. I mean, all this, and I did all this because I was kind of getting frustrated with the music. You
I
know what I'm saying?
understand.
Because I wasn't understanding that it wasn't my time.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? I was pushing and pushing and pushing up against that wall, and it
Bro, you
wasn't
don't understand.
right.
Same thing happened to me, man. If you go back to YouTube right now, if you go back to YouTube right now, you look at Acapellic and you look at all the interviews that I did back in the day. I was only getting like 20 views and stuff like 100 views. I think one video had like 200 something views, and now I'm getting like 2, 4, 500. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why now? After so many damn years, it's like, what the fuck, Why not then? Why not? But hey, man, God has a plan for everyone, right?
Yeah, man. My phone cut off and you cut out some, but I did hear you say that you got to that 400 or 500 a video now.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, man. Like you want that shit, so you work so hard for it back in the days, and you don't get what you wanted. But now that you're not even trying, it's like I'm just doing it just for fun. Now shit is working in your favor, man. It's like what the fuck, man? Like why that? You don't even understand like how much like yourself you have to sacrifice so much just for
Yeah,
a little progress, man.
yeah,
To get a little bit of a change from what you're doing for what you love to do. And then to just say, you know what, from one day to another, say, you know what, fuck this. I don't even want to try and do this anymore. Let me help everyone else now. And now
yeah,
shit is working. I'm like, what's up, babe? But God, it's
yeah,
God's plan, man. It's God's
yeah.
plan.
You ain't putting so much energy into it. I guess is what it is. And what I'm seeing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So man, honestly, when I went back to school, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my degree and I'm gonna go coach football, college football, high school football, something. And I was gonna just give it all up because I was like, man, even though I say that, I always still come home when I feel the urge, I write something. Or if I'm listening to somebody, I'll be on a beat star or something, and I hear a beat or something,
Mhm.
I download it or and I just write to it, put it to the side. Sometimes I still
Of course.
just I don't know if you can see my microphone back here, but I
No,
always still,
because your background is blurred.
okay. I thought I unblurred it, but yeah, I always still, even though I wasn't focused on it, I still would do a song from time to time, just because that love was there, and it never would go nowhere. And then I was like, this time I was getting back into it. It was like, okay, I'm gonna do an album, and I had this like a health incident where I blacked out and fell down some steps, and then so yeah, so I did that.
We're in the same situation, brother,
Yeah,
and that's why. That's why. Yeah, for real, and that's why I'm not allowed to release shit. And now I feel like, yo, bro, I got something so fucking special. But it's like they're like, no, you can't release shit. I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah,
why now, man? But I feel you, man.
yeah. So and that happened, and the thing about it is when that happened, I was like, man, if I'm gonna do it, the thing about it is two incidents happened within a span of 10 days.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I blacked out, fell down the steps, and then I got up after that accident. That next week, I got up in the middle of the night because I was kind of cold to turn the heat on, and I fell out again. A blood clot came up, covered my lungs, and I was out. And the doctor when they was going to the ambulance, took me to the hospital. They told my wife, they was like, we almost lost him twice, doing that
Oh
ride.
shit.
But yeah, and then but during that time, I was like me reading all this conscious stuff and learning that stuff, man. At that time, I believe that I don't know about how other people feel, but just me knowing that there is a higher power. But we go to church. People go to church and do, but to understand that even when we read those scriptures and everything in church in the Bible, it says what we call God is actually inside of us. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, because we
I
breathe
learned
in
the
life and
same
doing
thing,
stuff.
brother.
So, and with that, then I was like, during that time, as I'm quote unconscious, whatever, I'm conscious in myself of like, oh shit, I can't die now. I got shit to do. So God is my witness, God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. So,
We in the same position,
so when,
brother.
when that came about, when I came to and after that, I just kind of went back on my music. But the funny thing is, as I was working back on my music before that accident, those two incidents, I was still in school in college, and I was in science one day as I was getting these collections of songs, and I was going in the science building. And I'm like, what am I gonna name this album? Because I didn't have a name for it as I was working on it, and I just kept going. And then it just hit me as I got ready to go into class. It was like resurrection. so with that, that's what I just started to name it. And so that's what I got some pictures and stuff of me in the graveyard and stuff, and all that type of stuff. But that's what I decided to name it. Then I released it, and it wasn't quite right because to me, I don't think I was healed completely. You know what I'm saying? Healed from that, just that trauma of falling down them steps, of having that blood clot in my lungs and all that stuff. So I think I was kind of rushing it at the same time. So because the mix wasn't as good. And then
Mhm.
so I just kept working. I pulled it all out because I had it on DistroKid and they released it, but then I pulled it all out. Pulled it all out, and I was like, man, I need to redo it and do it right, make it sound good. So because to me, it's not really about the money like
Yeah,
that. I'm an artist first, and I want it to sound right, want it to be right. I want to feel good about what I'm putting out there.
of
You know,
course.
especially since I'm controlling it in a sense. And once I did that, as I kept making beats and stuff, and buying beats and doing them recording. Last year, the dude named is the Grinch who made the Player's Ambition.
Mhm.
And I had other beats and stuff, and I was laying down, and then I found that beat, and I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of brought something to me. And the song that I dropped the Player's Ambition on, it actually was another. It was on another beat that was more slow, laid back. Because I'm from the
Damn.
South originally, so it's kind of I'm kind of laid back.
Mhm.
And it was actually that. But when I heard it, I was like, man, that shit right there, because I forgot what he called it on there, but I let my, cause my kids and white hair, I let them hear it, and sometimes they be like, that's cool,
It's a
or
vibe. It's a
they
vibe, man.
they look at they artists, the artists that popping right now, that's their favorite artist. So when they hear me, they comparing me to them, but I don't compare in that sense. But I just let them hear it sometimes, kind of to show them that even though my shit ain't pop yet, it's something that's in me So I want, if y'all have a goal or something in life, at least keep working on it. Keep working on it. You
You know
know.
what? You know what, bro? That's the reason why. You know, I told everyone right. Like, right now, I can't do anything. Of
Hmm.
course, I'm legally not allowed to do anything or say anything at all. But I may come back to this shit just to prove, someday when I have kids to prove to them, like you're able to do everything and anything because I did everything and anything you could imagine, So if you
Right.
want to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever the fuck you want to be, a scientist, you can
Yeah.
fucking do it, because
Do that.
it doesn't start off. You shouldn't. Well, I mean, it shouldn't start off with the people they see on TV. It should start at their home, with the
Right.
parents
Yeah.
showing them, and that's the thing that is missing in a lot of family homes nowadays, where men aren't being men, where they're not
Hmm.
looking up to their fathers and shit, and that's why
Yeah.
a lot of kids are wilding out. There's no
Yeah.
order,
Yeah.
and
True.
yeah, but I don't know, man. It's a crazy world nowadays where we have so much, technology, and everybody's just on their phones and nobody's paying
Yeah.
attention. Nobody's teaching these kids how to, how to
Yeah.
survive, what is life, how to chase goals, travel, go see
Hmm.
things, man. They're
Yeah.
just stuck in the same place, and
Yeah.
and I understand it because I come from poverty too, so I
Yeah.
understand when there's no money to make these things
Hmm.
possible. It's very complicated, and that's where I myself, like I told myself, religiously, I told myself and my parents, everyone kept telling me, like, hey man, why you don't have kids and family? I'm like, listen, I'm trying to get my situation fixed before having a family, because you don't
Yeah.
understand how hard it is to have a family in America.
Hmm.
They like, okay, cool, I could have a family and a woman like everyone else,
Hmm.
but like, what good is that going to be if the kids aren't having the best education or the best experiences, and then they're living the same experiences that we did, where we lived poverty, where we had to get loans for food, and we didn't have no money for food, we were homeless, and all these things. You have to understand, that's why I was going so hard with my music and all these things that I was doing, trying to make money each and every fucking way, because I was trying to make sure that my mama was in a better place and making sure that I could get myself in a place. That's the reason why I didn't want to date, because to have the responsibility, you have to be able to have money to be able to take the woman out to eat or whatever. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what
And
was the point of me having another baby or bringing another baby in the world if I can't handle
yeah,
the responsibility?
you want to. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's true that you say that, like, even with me, like I always tell my kids, when I tell them, I say, I already did all the shit. I said, I already went through the fire for you. All you gotta do is just listen, because what I didn't understand when I was coming up, my dad, my mom, as I was, I don't know if you've seen the video to Players
mm,
Ambition,
of
and I'm
course.
talking to my mom. I talk to them pretty much every week. I'm talking to one of them or both of them every week just to check in and see how I do because I went so many years of not, checking in on them like I should have, and
Okay.
so, but I talk to them, and it's the fact that they try to show me the right way, but God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, I had to learn it the wrong way, or not the wrong way, but it was my way to learn it. And
Same
like I
thing,
tell
brother.
my kids, I say, I done did it, I done went through it, and my kids they can kind of see because I don't sugarcoat it. I don't try to like, Dad was this, I give it to them
Because
straight. Hey, this,
Because that's
So
how kids don't learn, man. If you don't give it to them straight, how it really is. Because I myself, I was a dickhead, man. A lot of people see me showing love to my mother now and my parents, my father. Yeah, I come
yeah,
home, I go to my mom and I say, "Hey, mom, I love you." I start hugging her and stuff because
yeah,
I wasted so many years in this shit and being a dickhead and whatnot. But that's because I was young. When you're young, you really
yeah,
don't appreciate how much
yeah,
how much you have. And after that accident, like yourself. I started realizing, man, like fuck what everybody thinks and all these other things, because life is too short. I could have died that day. Honestly, that was a dead, circumstance that I was in, like yourself, and you
yeah,
start realizing, what, a lot of things don't matter, and the way that if that's the way you want to die, and that's how people remember you, like, whoa, what a cruel way to die, like,
mhm,
nah, man, let's change it up, let's change life, That's how I fix, working on myself, my health, and like self healing, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, more than anything, spiritually
yeah,
uh and like I said, it's a higher power. I don't know, I'm not saying there's no Jesus, no Allah, no nothing. For me it's just God, and God is me. And I'm
yeah,
God. And
yeah,
a lot of people are going to take that another way, like, oh, so you're saying you're God? No, I'm just
yeah,
saying that I'm well connected to my Father. If I need my
yeah,
Father, I know where to find him,
yeah,
right here.
yeah,
I don't have to go anywhere. I go to
yeah,
church, just as thinking like everyone else, because this is supposedly where they go. But that's not me. Like, right, this is symbol right here. Like, I don't believe in
Mhm.
Christ, but if it represents, if what to humanity represents God, then
Yeah,
fuck it. I'm gonna represent
yeah,
God
yeah,
all the way. All day, every day. No matter what representation. It doesn't matter what religion it is. If it's God, I'm with it. Because
yeah.
that's what I'm with. I ain't with the whole other side. I'm with God.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right. Yeah,
mean?
for sure. And with as you say that, I know we off the music tip, but it's all part of it. 'Cause when I do my music, like I used to do music, not even conscious of what I'm doing, just bitch, hoe, fuck, all that shit back there. But now when I write a rap, I'm writing it from a different understanding. Like on Players Ambition, I'm talking about a, a issue, not an issue, but a situation that I created this. I created those issues. I created that woman beating on that door at 3 in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
You
I
can't blame
did that.
anyone, brother. You have to learn to take responsibility, be account. What's it called? Take accountability of your actions. It's not
Yeah,
God's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's our
yeah,
own fault. Because there's people who try to warn us, and we don't listen because we're too young and hard headed. We have to
yeah.
do it the hard way.
It's them. And I look at life being here in this planet, this plane, whatever you want to call it. This is school. This is school because when you look at it, how else can God be all knowing unless we come down here, he's a little bit of us. Had we the little G's, and then
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Then we
that's beautiful,
transition
man. People don't
and go back,
understand.
huh?
I said life is beautiful, man. People
Yeah,
don't understand
yeah,
how we imitate God in so many ways, just by the way that we create our song. God
create,
creates everything. He created
yeah,
us. So now we, as people, we're creating shit too, whether it be a building, a house, this interview, this
exactly.
computer, whatever. It's
Yeah, but
mind
people
blowing, man.
people don't even look at it like that, and so and that's just me. We all an aspect of God, and then when we transition, we take that information back. You know what I'm saying? That's just my take on it. I don't know
I
about
see
nobody
I
else.
see life the same way, brother. That's why I'm with you all the way on that. After you go through the spiritual journey, man, you start realizing, and more than that, as you get older as a man, as you get wiser, you start to grow up, you realize so many things, and you start acting and liking different things, and you're like, what, that was wrong, and I understand that. And they're young, so that's why when you see the youngsters not doing it, you're like, what, like. Let me talk to you, man. Let me talk to you before you start getting into the wrong position. So that's why I don't get, like, I don't know if you heard, but here in New York, this week, some guy shut up the
Yeah,
train station, and
yeah,
I really don't understand that, man. I
yeah.
really don't understand it. Why people killing each other, why people killing other people, robbing people.
Mm,
It doesn't click in my head. I
yeah.
was broke to the broke or the brokest, man, homeless and all, but not one time ever. I done a lot of dumb shit and crazy shit, but I've never hurt anybody, killed anyone, or robbed anyone. So, or did any drug dealing or anything like that. So I really don't understand. But I do understand that sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But like, come on, man. There's other ways of making money and getting
Yeah,
a, you could work the 9 to 5 or whatever. There's jobs
yeah,
out there.
yeah.
Jobs are
There's
out
a lot
there.
of them out there, and it's to me. I think it comes back to what's being promoted. It's like it's marketing and promoted to the people. And if you young and impressionable, that's what you think. That's what you think is the shit because they market it to you. You see it everywhere you go. And as artists, yeah, we have to do better. And I can't. Everybody do their own thing. For the
That's
most.
why that's why when the mayor of New York wanted to, go against the drill rappers and stuff like that, I was with him, man. And how they want to stop the Jay-Z and Meek Mill want to stop the law of the law using artist music against them. Now I got a legal issue too, right? And I may come out to be losing in this situation, but fuck it, man. If it means stopping kids from dying in the streets, then fuck it, go ahead and do it because that has to stop, man. I mean, I get it. I was younger too, like all that dumb shit, bitches and all these guns and all this other
Yeah,
garbage that I was doing at the time in gangs. I understand it. I liked it then, but I realize now that it's bad because
yeah,
that inspires you to take certain actions in life and it
mhm,
ruins a child's life. Meanwhile, this guy right here is living in a mansion or it's in Miami, living in Los Angeles, living in a nice house. His mother is good and all while the kids out here killing each other. Just look at Chicago, man.
mhm. Yeah, for
Dude,
sure. It's crazy.
You know, like people, I understand like free, like the members and stuff like that, but sometimes even if it were my family members, if they do some shit, man, they have to get locked up because they're ruining the community, man. And the
Yeah,
community is where my children in the future and my wife are going to be coming into, you know, and that's gonna be bad for them. So I prefer mines than my own right now because that's just going to drag more people to fall under the same impression, on the
yeah,
same
true
influence,
that.
and whether it be drugs and guns and
Yeah,
violence and all this shit.
yeah. It's and that type of stuff, man. Is if you that type of have that type of animalistic nature and you can't control yourself, then go sit your ass down in a prison and let them people deal with you over there. But most people just trying to live good and like the kids, yeah, it's hurting the kids. It's not hurting the person that's out there rapping about it because the kids come along and they think that's the shit to do, but really it ain't. The shit is to get old and chill and and let
Yeah.
let people live, and not worry about trying to hurt and harm people.
Course. Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, I understand, like African Americans, like my people, are getting
Mhm.
murdered by cops and shit, and they have to be dealt with too. But we also have to realize that some people need to be locked up as well who are doing this harm.
Yep,
If they're killing, whether it be Chicago, whatever, if they already have the evidence, that's it, man. It should be locked up automatically, man.
yep,
Fuck it, man.
yep,
And people have to start getting locked up because in the end of the day, babies, innocent babies are dying out here, man. This is
yep,
not fucking Iraq.
yeah.
you know?
It,
Why the fuck are we killing each other? Like, this is fucking
it,
crazy, man. I understand the whole NYPD or defund the police or not, but we have to also make sure that the police is doing their job and cleaning up the streets because in the end of the day, the ones who are losing lives are innocent standbys.
yeah, true. And you do have those in the police department and in the streets that
Oh,
that's killing because of whatever reason. But at the same time, we can't group everybody in that deal, And when it happens, it's again the media is plays a part in the problem because they promote and market it all over and over and over and over, and it's like to me they try to keep shit stirred up,
but
keep
here's the thing though, right? There's people who out here, and I don't want to talk shit about Mortal Technique because I fucking love Mortal Technique. He's a fucking, a general. But the thing is, like, these guys, right? I'm not saying he's a millionaire or anything like that. I really don't know the situation, but there's people who are wealthy and they're about being conscious of that. So they're not ignorant. They know that the media is a big part, plays a big part. So why aren't they having their own media platforms where they're announcing news and stuff like that, where it's for the people, communicating the people, not doing foundations and donating food and stuff like that. No, teach people how to make money, how to get money, how to
Mhm.
build a business, get them jobs. If you want to stop homeless people from being homeless, don't put them in more shelters and just give them one night. No, get them back on their feet. Get them somewhere to shower, where to stay, get them a job. Fix them up and get them ready to live life once again. Get them, either get them a job or a way to make money. There's many ways to make money, man. There's a
Yeah,
lot of business out here. There's a lot of ways, and they could do it. And I don't know why they don't do it. I don't know if it's because they don't have time and this and that. But if they have time to be on social media 24/7, as soon as they hear one little thing posted and talking about it and ranting about it live,
yeah,
I think you have more than enough time to go out there and teach people
yeah,
how to make money.
yeah. And it's funny we're talking about this because as I was running some errands earlier, I was thinking about something about you know, really, I'm a blame our government and our politicians partly because if we the people supposed to be looking up to them and they are corrupt and doing the things they don't care about the homeless man on the corner. You know what I'm saying? They don't the city officials, they don't really care about it. They're not really trying to do that. They keeping everything separated. But it's all by design and when we come back to it comes back to the individual person. You know what I'm saying? That person is homeless or on the street begging for somewhere he lost his connection to the creator. Somewhere he lost that connection. Maybe it's the fact that we are in a world where everything is promoted and outside of you. And granted, we kind of coming back to where people are meditating and are learning to come within. Because for me, the Christ that we working on, this is what I was gonna say earlier. You know, they always talk about the return of the Christ. You know, Jesus coming back.
He's
Well,
here
to me,
already, man.
yeah, to me that return of the Christ is the return of the Christ in you. You see what I mean? It's coming back to you. It's not. We can't be looking in the sky for him. We have to become that Christ-like energy, that
Listen,
Christ-like.
brother, they blinded us and they made us forget our ways, and that's what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
You know, that's why we're so lost. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to live because we were never intended to work or worship money and all this other crazy
right,
shit. But
yeah,
conquering happened, and now it's too late to go back. It's
yeah.
too late. It's
You
too
gotta
late
do
at
it
this
again.
point. Even if people were to wake up, it's too late because there's greed. There's always going to be greed. That's the reason why laws and taking over and wars and all shit happen because of greed. And that's
Mm-hmm.
been the biggest enemy. To me, that's the devil right there. Greed.
Yeah, it's
You
about the
know,
bell. Everybody's about the money. Everything's about a competition, and
it's about power
I
more
feel,
than anything, brother.
uh,
It's
uh,
about power more than
yeah,
anything. Money doesn't exist.
right. And I think like I'm competitive as a rapper, right? Just like most of us are. But my being competitive is not taking down the next rapper. Let him do his thing. I'm gonna do my thing. If he get paid what he get paid, what's for him is what's for him. What's for me is what's for me.
Of
You
course.
know, and instead of he rolling in the Bentley, or something like that, and I'm still over here in my 2003 Beamer.
It was his time, man. It was his time.
Yeah,
Your time is your time is when your
yeah,
time
it's
comes.
time. It's time, and you know what? It's just so much that people with money could do, but it's like it's always creating that separation of haves and have-nots. And that's instilled in us since birth, really, since kids, since we've been going to school. You know,
Yeah,
but
but
it is.
it doesn't take too much. It's just that for me, it's hypocritical when I see people being about social justice warriors and all this other thing, but they don't do anything for the people but donate money and toys. But you tell me, if you're done down broke and they say give you a plate of food today and toys for your children, you think that's gonna help you for tomorrow? That only helps you for today. For
Yeah,
example, like people donating to cancer stuff like that. Like I get it, it's helping with the chemo and stuff like that. But how many years have people been donating money for research to find a cure? And there's no cure. Meanwhile, there's some guy I believe from what I heard who has a lot of money who has a cure for cancer. So you telling me that over the years you haven't committed a lot of that same amount of money, you can't find a cure that this guy has? Like, are
yeah.
you really trying to find a cure, or are you just trying to make sure
Keep people sick. Keep people sick and do. I mean, yeah, man. It's a gamut. They running it.
you know?
Again, we got to come back to ourselves. Everybody. I say everybody. I can't speak for everybody because some people don't have the mental capacity. But everybody that's healthy in the mind or can think straight need to understand that it's really about you inside of you and not you against your fellow man, brother, sister, whoever. It's really about you finding that peace within you. Because none of this shit, we can't take none of it with us. I mean, why if I had a lot of money, why would I buy 70 damn cars?
Yeah.
That's something saying 25 or 30. Why? I mean,
It's like I tell my mother, man, I'm trying to make a lot of money. Well, I can't talk about it because you know how this
yeah,
works. But I'm trying to make something meaningful in this world,
yeah,
before I go. And
yeah,
because at the end of the day, I'm not going to take all this money with me or
yeah,
wealth. That's gonna stay with my children. But at least if I go, I died. If I go, at least, what's it called? Healing a couple people, one
yeah,
1,000 people, as much as people as I can, and teaching them, leading them so they could lead the others and stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm perfect or I know exactly what I'm doing,
yeah.
but it doesn't really take a genius to realize what works and what doesn't work and what could work. Because everything doesn't isn't always perfectly
Right.
executed or perfectly thought of, but you learn along the way.
We
It's a lot of things, and I can't really talk about it and stuff like that, but
yeah,
you know how it goes.
yeah. We as people, we are growing and learning, and we are perfect in our imperfections because as long as we trying to grow, we doing what we supposed to do. Because like I was
Of
saying
course.
earlier, if we here and we can't take nothing with us, all we can do is take is our experience and take that back to the creator. And then, whenever if people believe in reincarnation or whatever, or even if we just go into another step up, you know, we take that information with us, and hopefully we help somebody along the way. But really, it's about a self-realization in ourselves, you know, because everybody has their own choices to make, you know.
Yeah, it's like
If
Tupac said, man.
uh,
It's like Tupac said, brother. You know, I mean, I don't know I don't remember the exact quote, but he did something along the lines that he probably couldn't, he probably not gonna do what he wanted to do, but he will plant the seed in someone else. You know,
if somebody,
and
yeah,
and
tell
that's what
them,
he
you know,
did to me. You know, because
yeah,
I myself,
there's a
like,
lot
I come from a for real, man. I come
yeah,
from a generation. You know, I come from a background of revolutionaries. You know, these
mm-hmm,
are people who were side by side with Pancho Villa and
yeah,
Zapata, you know,
yeah,
robbing the
yeah,
United States, you know,
yeah,
to feed the
yeah,
poor and stuff. You know,
yeah,
I'm from that bloodline, man. You know, I come from a
yeah,
rich, you know, I like to say
yeah,
a rich bloodline, because you know, to me, it's like pride, you know, for what they did in their cause. You
mhm,
know,
yeah,
I take that, you know, and I learned a lot from my ancestors. And Tupac too, you know, he
yeah,
influenced me mentally, you know, with
yeah,
music. You know, even though I used to listen to Wayne, he would talk a lot of dumb shit, but it was fucking amazing with the bars and
yeah,
stuff like that. It's cool and all, but then Tupac was there too, teaching me the
yeah,
conscious shit, you know. And I'm like, damn, that really helped me a lot, you know, as I grew up. And now as a man, I realized a lot of things that he was saying, you know. It's like he planted that seed in my head without even knowing. So that's what I'm saying. Like everything you do, say, or your actions, you know, it inspires other people. So music is so influential. Like people don't
yeah,
understand. People don't understand how
yeah,
influential it is and how much of a big problem it is now with drill music. You know.
yeah. And you know, with that, every artist has a role to play, you know, because at the end of the day, the rap game is an art. It's an art, you know, but you can paint whatever picture you want to paint.
Art
You
imitates
know, we
life.
can, uh,
Art imitates life.
yeah, and we can paint a picture of doing foolish shit all the time, you know, or we can paint a picture of being revolutionary. Or I heard somebody say, I think I was listening to something yesterday. I think it was the Raponomics, you know, with Wendy Day then. I think I heard the dude, I can't remember the dude's name, so don't quote me on it, but he said something like, make music that feeds your soul and feeds your family.
Yeah.
You know, so there is a happy medium, and that's how I feel about, you know, pretty about much about life. I was talking to a dude earlier today, and you know, he
Mhm.
was asking me, when you get upset or somebody, you know, if something like that, what do you do? And I said, well, technically, first thing, my responsibility is get myself back to my center. If somebody pushed me to the left, I got to try to, you know, or to the right, I got to come back to the center. So it
That's
all
self
comes back to me
discipline, man.
first, huh?
That's self discipline.
Yeah. So you got to work, and we don't have that. You know, we fly off the handle. Let's say somebody pushes us to the left, we fight and come all the way back to the right. We done passed where we supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Now
Mhm.
we got people laying dead in the street. Now we got, you know, it it's no medium. You know, it's no happy. You know, so I try to teach my kids the same thing. You know, you get upset or whatever, or somebody gets you upset. Your job is to fight to get back to the middle, to you, to the
Yeah.
center, and let, because if they pushing you, they're gonna push somebody else, and somebody else ain't gonna have that control, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be damaging to them. You know.
Yeah, that's what my father told me all my life, and he told me this all my life. I didn't understand when I was I didn't understand when I was younger, but now as I get older and I'm older now, you know, I understand. He told me like, listen, I understand people are gonna push it to the edge, and I know
Yeah.
you got the fire in you that you just don't give a fuck. But you have to understand that if you could avoid a problem, try to avoid it as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't avoid it, then you got to handle your situation how you got to handle it, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
But try to avoid every situation you can as possible because at the end of the day, you're Mexican. And our
Mm-hmm.
people, we are not well looked at in this country.
Right.
So if you
Right.
have to understand, whatever you do, it comes back and reflects
It
on your
reflects.
people. It
Yep.
reflects on your parents. What you do, your
Yep.
actions, and what you say reflects
Mm-hmm.
us. So who you are, that's who we are. So if you're representing, you're putting. If you have a bad image, then you're putting us
Mm-hmm.
in a bad representation. So make
Yeah.
sure you have that in mind. So you teach the same things and ways to your children,
Yep.
so they
Yep.
make sure that they stand in the right way. You know, I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You
I
know.
feel it though. You know, and that's true. You know, like, you know, so get this. Like my parents, I'm into music basically because of my parents. They had a gospel group. They did
Yeah.
gospel music, but ever since I was little for like 25 years. You know, they work during the week. Then on the weekends, they may go to different churches, or sometimes they have revivals or whatever. They go sing there, and they back on Sunday. They back in the church doing their church, and they play instruments and sing in the choir and stuff in the church. So that's where my music came from, really. But I never felt that I was a gospel type rapper. So I always loved rap music since I was little, since I really first heard it back in the late '70s. So it's always been my thing. And even though before I actually committed to being an artist in it, I would write raps, but then I end up balling up the way. I did that for a long time.
I
So
feel you. I feel
then
you.
I'm like, nah, that ain't my thing. But I kept doing. I used to try to break dance and all that stuff too. But yeah, my music influence. When I pick beats, if you hear a bass line or a guitar, that's because my dad played the bass line, the bass, and my
That's
uncle played
awesome.
the lead guitar. And if you hear me harmonizing or something on the track, I try not to do that. But a lot of time that come from like my mom, from hearing them singing, and doing. So I'm kind of emulating them, even though it's
I'm
not
happy,
gospel.
man. I'm happy for you. That's a whole family business you got going on. You're just the picture, but you have your whole family behind you, supporting you,
But
going, doing your thing, man.
I never could get, with my dad then being, doing gospel music, we could never do music together. Because my dad, I'm just gonna keep it 100. He by the book. He ain't gonna.
Of course.
Nobody's gonna swing. He's better. He's gonna handle his business. He's better. That's the way he raised me. And that, sometimes I'm kind of don't move. Me
Hey
and my
man,
kids.
but what you're doing from what I saw in your music, you're in the right path, man. You're trying to teach the people just like the old heads did, just like you did with that track. Let me look into Can You Hear Me Now? I
Yeah,
believe the track, yeah, talking about the Russian shit and whatnot, it's crazy, man. It's getting
yeah,
crazy out here,
yeah.
brother. I tell you,
Uh,
man.
yeah, because I don't know what I was doing a couple years ago when that came out, and I was making a beat, and then I seen at that time their president, Putin, he was over there, and they was having a little conference on about rap,
Hmm.
and to me, it wasn't it wasn't American hip hop rap, but still it was rap.
Yeah,
And rap, if it started over here, to me, that's them attacking the freedom of speech in the rap music that you have, because it's art at the same time. It's
yeah.
art. So that's why I kind of felt like that right there. And then at the same time, we had all those riots and stuff going on and all that stuff. So to me, it was just how I felt at the moment. At the moment, so I just put it in just like that.
Yeah,
So
man, but to me, the whole Russian shit, man, is crazy. With the whole pandemic going on.
yeah,
We're living in crazy times, brother. I tell you,
yeah,
man. Like we had a whole pandemic, and then inflation happened, which doesn't make any sense because
yeah.
you really think about it, right? If the people are down and out, why would you have inflation? Why would you put them in a worse situation?
Keep that gap. Spread
Yeah.
that gap between the have and the have-nots. And get this, a couple of days ago, as I was telling my wife, I seen Bill Gates from there's gonna be another pandemic right on MSN, right on the front page. Let
Bro,
us
we're
know.
gonna,
I
for
didn't know.
me, it's like three pandemics, man, because I think just doing this to, get the people down and out,
Yeah,
like all the way down. Because if you, like, after the Russian and Ukraine thing, like, what does that have to do with the US having another inflation? How the hell
yeah.
does that work? Okay, they're having a little war, but okay, why does America have to have another inflation?
I seen them talking about that. They were saying something about oil that they get from Russia, but we don't get all our oil from Russia.
That's why
It,
they went to Iraq and invaded Iraq for, petrol and shit.
so yeah, to me, it is what it is. But they in it together. You know what I'm saying? They in it together, and
Yeah.
until the people understand that, hey, we fighting against the powers that be that's controlling the whole thing. Either we stop buying all their clothes, stop. We have to come together on how we gonna move in order to change how they move. Because if we keep following in, okay, let's say we walk in the field and the path is going this way, but we know it's gonna lead to a cliff, and we keep going, and it's our own damn fault for walking, following that path and going off the cliff, versus us going this way or another way, and
Yeah.
maybe finding a way down that cliff, to the other side. You see what I mean? So it's back to it comes back to us, and if
Yeah.
everybody, I don't want to keep saying
And,
everybody, but if the select few and the people as
but
a
it's a
whole,
majority, man. It's a
yeah,
majority, and even though YouTube is not gonna like this, and most likely we're not gonna get any views on this, to be honest with you, but I don't care, man. Yo,
hey,
that's the same thing that happened with the interview with Zay Gray. We talked about certain things like this, and they were not happy, man. Let me tell you that. But
sorry,
but let
God
me
love it, everybody.
for real, though, whoever watches, if this gets to you, man, much love, man. I'm praying for this video, because there's a lot of knowledge that we're sharing right now with the people,
Yeah,
and that's what I don't get, with the whole inflation and stuff like that. And now, recently Biden announced, this is not there's a document or anything. No, he said it himself that there may be food shortages. So imagine
yeah,
inflation, no food in the supermarkets. That calls for
yeah,
disaster, man.
yeah. And get this, now you know, I don't know if you know it, but I guess it might have been 6, 8 months ago, something like that. I seen that I think Bill Gates bought up a whole bunch of farms and stuff. So wait a minute, you mean tell me we can go out here in the field and we can put something in the ground and we keep putting watering and keep nurturing it, nature, it's gonna grow up naturally. So why is it a food shortage?
That's what I
Why
tell
is
everybody
it,
too,
huh?
Don't that's what I tell everybody too, don't believe everything you see, because first of all, I've been learning a lot about farming because I want to have my own farmstead. That's what I
Yeah,
recommend everybody to do. Go get your own farmstead, go get a little property, even if it's 1 acre, build a little house or whatnot, get your little farmstead, chickens and whatever you want to have, plants and all that stuff. But things that you really need to survive, not just dumb shit. Things that you actually need, that you can survive on, like greens and whatnot.
yeah, be
Um,
self-contained. Yeah,
of course, because it's gonna get crazy. And another thing too, that plants and stuff like that don't grow overnight. So
right.
I don't know where the fuck they getting all these crops. So like, be careful what you're eating. And second of all,
Yeah,
if people like this are buying so much property, why is there no food then?
yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, buying the farmers out, and the farmers, that's been they for the generation. Some of them farmers, and then to go buy them out and then just not start producing nothing.
And not only that, they're also buying all the houses. They're
Yeah.
buying all the houses. Why? So they could rent it to you, so you don't have a house of your own. So
Mm-hmm.
it's getting
Yeah.
scary, man. They're trying to take over everything. They're
Have to
trying
go
to make
back
sure
and
you have nowhere to survival, man.
yeah, have to go back and live out in the wilderness. I always tell my kids, I'm from the country, so not from the country in the sense that we didn't have a house or nothing, but you know what I'm saying. I grew up in. If you look on the map and look for Milo, Oklahoma, you ain't gonna see nothing there. You know what I'm saying? It's dirt roads and stuff, but that's where I came from. I'm just gonna
Of
keep it
course.
100. Granted, I've been and seen a lot of places and did, and I'm blessed in a lot of ways. So, but to me, I'm from the country. I done seen the poverty in the sense, the of not having things, that
Yeah,
everybody, everyday people have, So, but it
of
is what it
course.
is, man. It's been good, Even though we didn't, because to me, it's more than the music. The music is a thing, is a way to express yourself and do, but it's a lot
I
of
mean, it's all connected, brother, because this is how it started back in the days in the 70s. People were trying to form the community with music,
yeah,
Public Enemy and all
yeah,
these groups, that's what originally was until, gangster music came
yeah,
in, and they
you
started
know.
fucking it up.
Yeah, and and to me with that gangster rap, it had its place because it had to be truthful to show the people, hey, this is what's happening too. So it had its place. So and I love gangster rap. I don't love the fact that people are killing each other like that. But the reasons why they are killing each other and doing that has to be brought to the light. So to me, gangster rap had its place or has its place because it's showing the police brutality, it's showing
Yeah,
the
with
black crime and all of that stuff. But I
no,
don't. I'm not gonna knock the drill music because I don't really know it. I hear some people they say drill rappers. I hear some of the music and do, but in the end of the
because in
day,
drill music they talk about the people that had beef with and killing them and their deaths and
yeah,
stuff. That's the big problem. When NWO
yeah,
was coming out with their gangster music, they were fed up with the cops and injustice and
yeah,
corruption. But then it took a turn. So what they did to calm the people down, they gave drugs, they gave
Right.
liquor, they gave gun shops near where they live,
Yeah.
and outside they tamed them, they dumbed them down. They gave them all this other shit, and
Yeah.
it led to this whole
Yeah.
disaster that we have now because they didn't want us to have any type of power. They
Right.
wanted to keep us in power.
Yeah. And but like the drill music now, I understand the music, but what I don't understand about it is, you have people going and disrespecting people's grave sites and people, going to people's funerals and it's all that type of stuff. To me, that's something else. To me, that's really something else.
I
It's
understand it because we were young too. I understand where they're coming from.
hmm
But at the same time, where are the OGs? Where are
yeah,
these parents to teach them and lead them and hey, this and that?
yeah,
So it's not really these youngsters' fault completely. I mean,
yeah,
it is their fault to a extent, but where is the OGs? Where are the
yeah.
parents?
Where the
That's
people
the problem.
yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah, and it's that it is that the older people are not there. What some of them locked up in jail and dead too. But it's got to be it's something that needs to happen to either to enlighten the younger folks. But we got this thing now where they made it like the young people, oh, you old, you don't know this, you don't know that. But
You
you
know
know,
why? You know
look,
why? Because I was young too, so I understand. Because we, as older folks, we tend to tell the children like, no, this is bad and this and this. No, man, we have to lead them. We have to show them better ways. We cannot just tell them because we were young too, so we understand when someone's trying to tell us something and just tell us do this or no, don't do that. We're gonna do the whole
right?
contrary,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
We have to learn to understand. We have to understand and know how to talk to children because
mhm,
their mindsets are not developed like ours.
right,
It takes a
yeah,
while for their minds to develop like ours. So we have to find a way to come in communication with children, with kids, the youngsters. Because if we just come at them like this aggressively and we just trying to
mhm,
order them, we're not gonna get to nothing, man. We have to find a way to be there with them. We cannot act like we're up here and they're down here. We
yeah,
can't do that. Neither have them up here and us down here because we have to have some type of
yeah,
level of respect for us to get through them, get through them. Because if we're not doing that, then we're just asking for a disaster at the end of the day.
yeah. It's like when we talk about sports, right? You have those coaches that are because I'm a coach, and you have the coaches that just you do this, right?
Mhm.
And then you have the other coaches that they call a players coach, where you got you trying to understand the player and his needs. That's me. I'm that type of coach when I coach football and do a little, but
Mhm.
that's how I coach because what I try to do is I'm gonna try to see what he sees and try to explain it from my perspective, what he's seeing. So therefore, we kind of on the same page. I can use the same term. We on the use the same terminology. So in I guess it could be the same with rap and with life. Period. And I probably myself probably should just like most adult men probably should be out more trying to communicate with the youth. And
Yeah.
that's probably where we falling down. Um, is talking about them and saying different things and not actually going and communicating with them and seeing what's going on, what's in their mind.
You
What
know
do
what
they
I always thought, brother? If I could, right? If
hmm
I could, I would get psychologists in schools. I would get studios in schools, art classes, drama classes,
Yeah,
meaning acting classes, and all these other things for kids to have something to express themselves. Because sometimes we just need to be able to express
yeah,
ourselves some way, not just have a music class where they give you the guitar, but you can't even touch it or play it until like who knows when. No, man, we need these kids to express themselves with music, with
yeah,
art, whatever
right.
it is. Allow them to decide what they want to do, what they like,
Yeah,
to express it. Talk to these kids, not put fucking social service because they tell you what's going on at home. No, try to understand how to help them in their household or what they could do because that's why people and kids don't want to say anything because they're scared that fucking social service is gonna come and take them away from the parents and this. No, man, because we all struggling, we all in the same battle,
yeah,
so we have
yeah,
to understand we're human. Why if we're going through some shit at home? Why you have to come and take our babies away?
right. Yeah, that's
That's
creating a
not
whole other trauma deal for them to deal with. The baby.
we
You
have
know.
this whole miscommunication in our communities, brother, in our schools, in
Hmm.
our government, everything. I can't even go after the government and say we don't need government because if we honestly, bro, if we didn't, brother, if we didn't have government, we wouldn't have order. We would have a lot of people doing a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah,
So
we need.
that's why I can't say I'm against government. No, I can't say that. I
Yeah,
am against government in a certain extent because of the corruption behind
yeah,
it and who's really running this government that we
yeah,
have. But to an extent, we need government, so people stay in check, stay in order,
yeah,
and
yeah,
to an extent. But the people need to have more power under that,
yeah,
to what goes on in our government because
yeah.
it's insane, and when our government is not working for us and it's working against us.
Yeah, the government plays a role in it. That of keeping order. But keeping order and controlling is two different things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, we are all going this way, regardless of what the majority say, and it may be better in some instances, but in not every instance. Just because you say we go this way, it's not so. In life, it has to be that balance. It has to be the balance that, hey, you know, if they really for the people, then
Yeah,
be about the people. And if they really for the country or the world that we all living in, because
of
if
course.
they destroy the world, then everybody's gonna be gone. I mean, nobody's gonna
You,
survive.
and it cannot just be us in America. No,
Right.
it has to be
It's
worldwide, and we all
worldwide.
have to find one language that we can all understand because that's how these presidents are keeping us as enemies. Because why? Because we can't understand each other's languages. We can't
Mhm.
understand each other. But if we were to all understand each other's language, we'll realize real quick how these presidents, how these governors, and all these other people, they're trying to make sure that we are at war and we're not in peace and that we're struggling and we never have any type of power. If we realize, if we all came in tune and we say, you know what, this is how we're gonna communicate. When this president starts to do some shit like that, we're gonna have to either he's gonna have to change his ways or we're taking him out of there and we put in
Right.
someone who is for the people.
Yeah.
Whether it be North Korea, Russia, Japan, America, whoever,
Yeah.
Mexico, whatever country, we all have to come, the people have to come together, man. At the end of the day, that's
Yeah.
the only way, but that's gonna take a lot. But just with seeing how Russians went against the Russian president because they didn't
Yeah.
want war, that tells me a lot. And that
Yeah.
says a lot because why? Because people don't want war. People
Yeah.
don't want war, man. Everyone worldwide just wants peace. This is not back in this where we wanted to fucking conquer and wanted power. No, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's just trying to have a relationship, have the families, trying to get day by day, have the job,
Yeah.
build a business. Ain't nobody trying to fucking die and kill
Yeah.
children, innocent children in a day.
Yeah.
We all have mothers, fathers, children, if I have brothers,
Yeah.
sisters, whatever, we're not trying to kill anybody. There's only fucking
Yeah.
crazy ass people who trying to take over the world. I don't understand what is the
That's
point
it.
of having so many fucking bombs? What is the point?
Yeah. I mean,
What
yeah.
is the fucking point?
I agree. I agree 100%, man. It's crazy, but I mean, yeah, it's back to the people in the sense, the people gonna have to do something, and it might, let's say it like this. I guess we kind of have that duality in us where we all can be corrupted if we don't watch ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe that's what happens once they cross over. Once they get in there, then I don't know. It's kind of hard to say exactly what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. But maybe they go in with good intention, but when they get there, maybe they getting fingers pointing at them. Hey, Joe Bob over there, he don't want to go along with the program, so we need to get his ass up out of office. You know what I'm saying? We need to do
Yeah.
something. Susie or whatever. But so maybe if as time progresses and we get more, I don't want to use the term woke, but more people become self-aware, self-realization. Then as they move in those places in the government, maybe that will change.
We
And
need
hopefully,
our people. We need our people who are
our people
conscious
too.
enough, who are
But
who get into the government. So I'm talking about you youngsters, you young kids of 5, 10, 15. Because
yeah,
honestly, us as adults, we're fucked. But I'm
yeah,
talking about you kids, man. If you really want to change the world, because when I was young too, I was a little kid too. I want to change the
yeah,
fucking world, and I'm still gonna fucking do it
right,
just for
yeah,
that honor. But as a little kid, man, work hard to get into all offices, get into the government, get into all these places. Fuck the shit up. Fuck the system up.
Yeah, and don't be corrupted by the money because the money could go away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of
The money. Don't be let the money move you. You know what I'm saying? You got to
course.
move what's in your heart and soul. You know.
Course. That's
So
what I say, man. Remember the mission, man.
yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
I
I
like
mean,
that.
I built my own hieroglyphics, brother. You
Yeah,
know,
I like it. I like it.
you know that's what it means. We on a mission, brother. You know.
How'd you come up with that?
Oh, you know, I was about 15. And
Yeah,
you know, I was learning about consciousness and aliens and all this other shit,
yeah,
government corruption, you know, the whole nine, you know, Bundy, Ted Bundy, and all these people, you know, who
yeah,
really rules the world. I went insane for a minute because it's too much for one person to handle.
yeah,
It's like if I saw an alien today, I wouldn't know how to react. To be honest with you, it took a while to be like, okay, damn, I don't know if he's trying to hurt me, trying to have a conversation, you know.
yeah.
So that's what happened. But over time, I realized, you know what? It doesn't matter who's running the world. And what mattered or what happened back then. What matters now is what's going on. What we have to change, and
Mhm.
what the changes that we take. That's how we get to these people, and we make them
Yeah,
come down from their position. Because
yeah,
us saying every day, this is the enemy, and this is the enemy, and this is the enemy, it's not going to change shit. Yes, you have to know who is the enemy,
yeah,
but then you have to know how to recognize your enemy first of all, but then you have to take action to how to make
mhm,
change, actual change, not just fucking say, oh no, this and that and gates and no. Okay, we know that this is what they're doing, this is the motive and this is the plan. Okay, but now we have to find a way how to execute, how to make change in the world and making change in the world starting with the children, man. And you know,
yeah,
and with our children is even if you end up losing, you know, and it's not good for you. Let's say I'm building a business, right? And even if it's gonna end up hurting my business, fuck it, man. It's about these kids having a better life, you know.
yeah.
Because in the day, I want to have kids, and I don't want my kids to live the same life that I live, man, and the generations before me. No, man. You know, we have to stop being so selfish, man.
Yeah.
You know,
It
sometimes
starts.
you gotta sacrifice a bit, you know.
Yeah, it start. You know, it start with each and every one of us. Got to do our job. You know, in that
Yeah,
aspect. You know, everybody got a job to do, and it's to work on themselves. You know, so
yeah,
through working on ourselves, then we can help improve the person next to us because they may say, "Oh, okay, he working on themselves, so I'm gonna work on myself, try to be my best self," and then it's like a domino effect. You know, if you can get everybody next to you going in that direction, and then you know everybody got a little group outside of that. Then you see what I mean. Then we start to grow and multiply in
mhm.
that aspect. But I think it really starts. You know, we have to start with the people, and we can get to the other people later. You know, but
Of course.
we got to work on us
We have to
first.
get on the people who are actually listening, brother. And you know, but going back to how I got the hieroglyphics, you know, I think believe I was 15 or something like that, and I saw these people had their own fucking symbols and stuff like that. Which actually, those symbols don't belong to them; they belong to your people.
Yeah,
But they use them for their own evil ways, wicked ways. So I said I have to find a way to talk my own language. So I made my own symbols and stuff like that, you know. And there's a lot of that still haven't shown, you know.
that's
It's all hidden, you know. And if
that's
they know, they
perfect.
know, you know. By the time
Yeah,
that comes, you know, it's a secret language that only my people and myself will know, you know, how to
yeah,
say, let's go, we on a mission, or time to, you know, take
yeah,
certain measures or whatnot, you know. It is what it is. And I don't want to say it's big concept because this doesn't mean that any terrorism or shit like that. No, this is all fucking legal and a way to help the kids and stuff like that because they like to take everything out of context and they be like,
yeah,
oh, no, this and that. No, man. No, that's not what I'm about. You know, I'm about helping the people
yeah,
and finding a way to stop this whole fucking, you know, slave mentality that we all have. Because
yeah,
even though we're no longer physically being treated like slaves and our women are being raped, like, we still have that, we're still in that warfare of mentality, you know?
yeah. It's that. Yeah, the now the war is in the mind. You know, they got the
It's a
mind
mental war.
with all the bullshit that go on TV and social media, you know. So, you know, like I'm not a big TV watcher, but sometimes I catch myself. I'm listening to a lot of social media, and I try to most of the time I try to listen to something that's motivating,
Mhm.
educational, spiritual, that type of deal. But sometimes I catch myself scrolling,
I
looking at
feel
what
you,
they
brother.
do,
And
laughing at,
sometimes, and sometimes you need to have that, brother, to know what's
yeah,
going on in the world, you know?
yeah, yeah, true that. Yeah, so but yeah, you need that break too. I mean, I guess in the end, it all is working like it's supposed to because at some point in time, either it's gonna crumble and be rebuilt,
It's
or
like
just gonna
music, brother. If you don't stay in tune with the times, then you won't know. Then you won't be able to grow. It's the same thing. You have to stay in tune with what's going on, so
mm-hmm.
you know how to, what's going on, how to get to people, and how to relate and whatnot.
Yeah,
These are things. And for the people in my audience and whoever's watching, I don't come from a rich family.
either.
I didn't fucking graduate from high school. I have no diploma. I ain't graduated from college. No, that everything I know is because I studied and I was into business and music
Yeah,
taught me everything that I know, and then music taught me about corruption and Bundy and the Rockefellers and old
yeah,
pyramid and all these things. And
all
then
that.
that's hip hop taught me everything, and then I just went on and did the whole research of the whole night because knowledge is free. It's in
Yeah,
our books,
right.
it's in the internet, it's in your social media
Yeah,
platforms, it's everywhere. Now, if
yeah,
you decide to be ignorant, that's on you.
yeah.
I had to teach myself how to talk properly. I couldn't speak properly back in the days.
Okay.
Sometimes it still comes out time to time, but I wanted to be the best, so I would had to learn how to talk proper English,
Yeah.
you know.
Shit, you doing good to me. I mean, shit,
Oh,
I
thank you,
understand
brother.
everything you said. Oh,
Thank you, brother. Before when I dropped out of high school, I started a whole lot. I couldn't speak English, man.
yeah,
I was still in development. When you're a child
yeah,
like that, you haven't even graduated high school. You're not mentally developed yet to speak the language how you're
right.
supposed to.
Yeah,
So I learned it on myself, man. So what I'm saying, well, my point with me saying all this is that if I learned it and I got kinds enough, and I learned all this stuff, you could do it too. You don't have to
yeah,
be a fucking scholar or high
right.
school,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
graduate from high school, whatnot. Knowledge is free. It's out there.
yeah.
If I did it, you definitely could do it.
And honestly, man, I went back to college because I started and I stopped, and I started and I stopped, and then I was like, when I really was gonna give up the music and go into football, I was like, well, I gotta, if I'm a coach on the college level or high school, I gotta have a degree. So
Hey,
that was
man.
my whole mission of coming back to get it. And when I got it, I'm part Native American too. So I went to the Native
Cool.
American college here, Haskell Indian Nation University. So I went there, because the tuition was cheap, keeping it 100, so, and me going back, I learned a lot, but it was for me to go to get it, to be able to use. I said, well, if I'm gonna go back, I at least get a business degree in case I don't get a coaching deal. I can go into business. I had
Of
a
course.
business degree, and that don't mean that it taught me everything in business because it gave me a blueprint, but it don't. You can learn business reading books and doing it on your own. You didn't have to, but to me, to get that paper is something that I guess off and on I've been doing. But since I got it, I'm really considering going back and get my master's now because I'm
Of
like,
course.
why not? I mean, but honestly, I won't put nothing else in front of music no more.
But hey, man, we need more. We need more college graduates, so people like yourself could go ahead in these schools and coach these kids and get into the government and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I'm not knocking
yeah,
college. I'm
yeah,
just saying that if you're trying to get the knowledge that you need for change and
yeah,
this mental revolution,
yeah. But
the knowledge is there. I didn't know how to read either. I
yeah,
learned how to read because I
right.
wanted to learn the music business. So
Yeah,
I had to learn how to read contracts, how to write contracts, and all these
yeah,
things. These things I self-taught myself because I was passionate about music. Having a business.
yeah.
So I had to teach myself everything I know. People
That's big,
don't even
man.
believe it, man.
But
you
that's
know.
big for you to be able to teach yourself those things, man. And like I said, I wouldn't I wouldn't put nothing else in front of music now. Now, if it's music or me going back to get my master's, I'm going back to the music because it's been on my heart and mind the
Of
longest.
course,
You know
follow
what I'm
your
saying?
heart, man.
Yeah. So and that's why I'm set up to go, but I'm really trying to make the music go. I mean, I don't want, and with me as an artist, I don't want to just be an internet artist. I want to be able to go do shows on on the
Of
weekend,
course.
weekday, whatever. I want to be a working artist. You know what I'm saying? Even if I gotta, I ain't got to be in the 50,000, capacity arena. But if I'm there, I'm cool too. But if I'm in a 100,
There's
200,
there's a way of doing
capacity
it, brother.
club,
You just have to invest a lot of fucking money. That's what it really is. Anyone could
yeah,
blow up. You just need to have a lot of fucking money. That's how
yeah,
you blow up.
put that money. And like I was talking to my mom and probably a few weeks ago. I was like, my blueprint is if I work Monday through Friday, then I can hit the road Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and come on back and go to work on Monday. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I don't necessarily have to be a, signed artist or, doing like that.
Of
Like I
course.
said, if I'm regionally, or let's say even if I'm regional and I'm working, if I need to go to Florida and do a show on the weekend, I can take off, fly down there, do the show, come on back Monday, suit up, go right on into work and do my
Of
thing
course.
until something else, till it's able to go on its own. So, but if somebody comes talking right numbers and everything to me, then yeah, I look at signing too. So I'm not opposed to none of that. But it's a lot come with that signing doing, and and that's where I kind of be like,
Of
it is
course.
what it is.
But yeah, brother, I don't mean to take much of time because I think we already went over an hour, brother. Holy shit.
We
Bro,
covered up. We talked
it's
about a
just
lot.
it's just been an amazing conversation, man. I've been trying to
Yeah,
find someone who's as conscious enough, who understands and, is intuitively,
yeah,
spiritually, there. It's kind of hard to find it, to be able to have that conversation with you, man.
yeah,
It means a lot. It means a
yeah,
lot because sometimes you just hold a lot in and you're like, I need someone to fucking talk to and be like
yeah.
someone relating. So,
Hey, I want to thank you too, man, because honestly, you my first interview, really.
really?
Yeah,
Damn.
especially like
Oh,
I mean,
that's crazy.
back in the day, I had an interview with somebody when we first started back in the '90s, and then I had an interview, but the other interview with this internet radio station. It was more like they sent me a bunch of questions. I typed them up, the answers, and sent it back to them.
Damn, this is way
But
back then.
yeah,
This is way back then, typing and stuff.
no,
Damn.
well, I'm talking about this is like 2018 maybe, the
Oh, okay,
internet
okay.
radio station. But back in the day, when I was part of CWS, that group, we had the group. We went to the radio station because that was the first time we ever got a single play. But yeah, this is the first time I had a like live interview like that because I never really pushed my music to the radio, you
Oh,
know.
damn.
So yeah, like I said, but it is. I appreciate you.
Of
Appreciate
course,
you.
but likewise, man. And I'm telling you, man, keep pushing. Players
Yes, sir.
ambition, man. That's a vibe,
Yeah.
And I
Thank
myself, I'm 27, so I'm kind of into what's going on right here. So
you. Yeah.
you got something special there, man. Keep pushing it, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
for sure. And before we go, you have anything you want to promote your social medias and stuff like that, so people come and find you, whether it be
Yeah,
YouTube, Amazon, I mean, fucking Twitter,
Instagram.
Instagram, and all that.
Instagram is at KGCWS1. Then the website. I mean, the website is copingwithstress.com. And if you go to the website, then you'll be able to. Matter of fact, if you go to the website, you'll be able to get to YouTube. But the easiest way to find all my links is if you look at my internet Instagram bio, it'll say Koji. I use that Koji app, and if you
Yeah.
hit that, it'll open up. Then you can see the Spotify link. You'll see all my links pretty much.
You
You
have
can leave
TikTok?
if you want to.
Nah, I gotta go check it out. You have TikTok or not?
No, I didn't. I haven't got it, but I know my music is. When I got it distributed through DistroKid, it's
Uh-huh.
supposed to be on that. But I need to do that, and I kind of was. Yeah, I need to go and do the TikTok
Yeah, you
deal. I
need
was
to do a
listening to a
TikTok.
couple artists, so they was like, "Well, TikTok for kids." So, but you
Nah,
know,
it's for musicians too, man. But a lot of
yeah,
people are blowing up on TikTok, man. I tell you that. So don't sleep on TikTok,
yeah.
man.
I'm gonna have
Anything
to
that
look
can
into
help you
that.
get up there, take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna look into that now. Really though. But yeah, I kind of even my kids got TikToks to do, and I had a little video. I was like, I'm gonna put this on TikTok. And they
Yeah,
was people
they
laughing
can
at
put
it.
you on what's popping and how to blow up your page. It's
Oh
easy.
yeah, they do, they do. So,
Of
yeah.
course. You have
So,
any shows coming up or anything like that?
no, not right now. I'm in the process of working on setting some up. Like I said, what happened, man, this week? I was supposed to be doing that this week, but
Mm.
what happened is my interface in the studio messed up. So I've been fighting with that since last Thursday. I think it's been a solid week. I went and got another
Yeah.
interface, but now my computer don't want to recognize it. So I'm trying to figure out that, the technology.
Technical issues, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been frustrated, and then I got so much stuff, family pictures and videos and stuff on the computer. So if it don't load up this time, I'm just gonna wipe it. I already saved my music to another external drive, and
Okay.
I'm doing all the pictures and stuff like that. But if it don't work this time, I'm just gonna wipe all the rest of the stuff clean and start all the way from scratch.
Well, no
So
matter what, brother, everything always happens for a reason, man.
yes, sir.
There's always a better blessing for you,
Yeah,
So Whatever
So
whatever the universe decides,
yeah,
it's gonna
I'm with it.
double it for you, you know. So
Yes, sir. For sure. For
sure,
sure.
brother. Don't even be stressing about that.
So how I say that? How your name? Celestino?
Celestino.
Celestino. Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
Good to meet you, bro. Good to meet you.
Likewise, brother. Nice to meet you
Good
too,
to talk.
man.
Good to talk. Hey, honestly, I ain't. I mean, I ain't talking to nobody. We ain't had to have no conversation like this, you know, because you know a lot of people don't want to get deep like that. They want to stay surface level.
Oh
But
no, man. No,
yeah,
I don't care, man. Like I said, when I came back here, man, I came for the people and be able to teach as much people as I can.
yeah,
You know, I'm not saying that I know the right way or the
right.
correct way to do things. You just take what works for you and leave what doesn't
Yeah,
work for you,
you
you know, because
put it on the table. Put it on the table. And let them eat if they want it. You know, that's all we can do, really. You
of
know,
course.
but they might be missing some good food if they don't eat it. You know,
Yeah, man, you know that I mean that's what works for me and that's what I do too, you know, and that's what I
yeah,
advise everyone, you know, analyze everything anyone says, even myself. So what I
yeah,
say, you know, take it with a grain of salt, you know,
you know,
have your own your own opinions on what I
yeah,
say, you know.
yeah. We all growing, you know. So it's like something that I may not agree with or agree with 2 weeks ago. I might even change my mind now once I see it in a different light.
Of course.
Maybe it's that ignorance or not knowing or understanding is what's preventing that other decision. So you
Mhm.
know, so we have to allow ourselves to grow, allow ourselves to see different things and do to make a good full judgment.
And
Really,
sometimes we just have to learn to disagree if we can't agree
yeah,
on something, you know? We just have
that
to
too. Yeah,
that has to be something that we have to learn as human beings too, because when we don't agree on something, we tend to separate or have wars and all these things. And that's not how life really
right.
works, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
That's not real life.
right. For
You
sure.
know, we gotta start learning how to, you know, start using this instead of
Yeah,
using this. I mean, we
yeah,
gotta use this for when it matters, but we have to
yeah.
also learn how to use this when
Use that.
we're in
Use them
situations
together.
that are higher situation that could cause a whole impact on a nation. You know,
Yeah, had that, that balance. We just got to learn to be in balance. That's what I try to, be balanced. But it is what it is. It's
that's what
we're a
it
work
is.
in progress, man. So hey, some days we balance, some days we out of balance, but we got to try to get back to being balanced.
We're human, man. We're
Yeah,
human.
real talk.
But of course, brother. So until next time, guys, this was your boy Celestino Valencia with KGCWS. Make sure to show him some love on all his social media platforms, his music on YouTube. Make sure to spread his music video
Yeah,
everywhere and anywhere you can. But
yeah.
yeah, until next time,
Uh,
this is Acapellic
I'm about to
TV.
go. I like that.